everybody, and welcome to another installment of Plaid Stallion's Toy Ventures. This week, we're going to Japan to spread a little love for a toy line called the Popy World Heroes. This is something I discovered later in life, probably about 5 years ago, and I just fell in love with this line. The World Heroes series was released in Japan around 1980. Popy had been distributing the 3 3/4 inch Kenner Star Wars line, and they were using these really cool display boxes. And a lot like what they did with the Migos superheroes, if you remember that toy venture with the TV Heroes line, they decided to expand the 3 3/4 inch figure format to include their licenses, popular Japanese superheroes. What resulted is one of those wonderful bits of what I call foreign toy magic. We got a litany of Japanese superheroes released, and they all look like they made by Kenner. I completely fell in love with this line the first time I saw it. The World Heroes line was a big hit in Japan, and there's no better evidence than the amount of characters released. Let's go through the characters by number. Number 1, you have to start at the beginning, the chairman of the board, the original Ultraman. Followed up, number 2, by Ultraman Taro. His show aired in the mid-1970s, and I guess he was still popular enough to warrant inclusion in the series. Number 3 is Ultraman Jonas. This is the animated version of Ultraman that doesn't quite fall into continuity now. He was, however, on the air when the World Heroes series debuted. He was also the first Ultraman character on TV in over 5 years, so he was included in this series. And I'm glad, because this was my introduction to Ultraman. That is my gateway Ultraman. Number 4 is Ultra 7, easily one of the most popular characters in the Ultra family. 7 was the direct follow-up to the original Ultraman series. Number 5 is a character called Denjiman Red. This is a Super Sentai series that is a direct ancestor to Power Rangers, a color-coded 5-man team that form a giant robot at the end. I do not collect these. I've mentioned before, I'm not a fan of the Sentai series, and I'm not a completist to the point where I need to get characters I don't enjoy. However, I do have friends who collect these who like to share, so I have photos of every character. Number 6 is Denjiman Green. Same team. Number 7 is Denjiman Blue. And number 8 is Denjiman Yellow. Missing from the original lineup is Denjiman Pink. This is a guys-only line at this time. Number 9 is one of my favorite and most classic superheroes from Japan, Kamen Rider Ichigo. Number 10 is known as Skywriter now, but originally the series was just called New Kamen Rider. He got the nickname Skywriter because he can fly in the series. Number 11 is General Monster. This is the first villain character in the line, and he is Skywriter's big boss at the end of the series. He is the second in command of the evil organization known as Neo Shocker, and he commands a legion of transforming cyborg mutants. Number 12 is Air Commando. Basically a Neo Shocker version of the Cobra Soldier. This is the henchman, the army builder of the line, so to speak. Number 13 is Kamen Rider V3. He is the third Kamen Rider, hence the 3 in his name, and it can be argued that V3 is the most popular of the classic Kamen Rider characters. Number 14 is Gamo Legion. He is a Neo Shocker cyborg mutant, and the first one to get beaten up by Skywriter. It's common for merchandisers to focus on the early villain. I'm not sure why. He looks like he just walked right out of the Creature Cantina, and I love him. Number 15 is Kuma Jin, the second Neo Shocker mutant cyborg to die by the mighty kick of Skywriter. I always find that the designs are pretty straightforward in the early series, and as it goes on, they get weirder and weirder. I'd have loved to have seen some of those oddball characters make it to figures. Number 16 is the last figure in the first wave of Popy World Heroes, and that is Ultraman 80. 1 week after the animated Ultraman show left the airwaves, the first live-action Ultra Brother in some time leapt onto the small screen in the form of Ultraman 80. It should be no shock that he was included in this line. Wave 2 continued the numbers with number 17 with Denjiman Pink. She's the only female in the group, and she's also probably the most rare Popy World hero there is. Number 18 is Kamen Rider Super 1. This show followed Skywriter, so he was a logical addition to the next wave. There are no tassels on this figure. I'm so disappointed in that. Number 19 is Sun Vulcan Red. After Denjiman ended, Sun Vulcan became the new 5-man team, and they were the last characters added to the World Heroes line. Number 20 is Sun Vulcan Blue. These guys are actually pretty tough to find from what I understand. I'm glad I don't collect them, to be perfectly honest with you. And number 21 rounds out the series with Sun Vulcan Yellow. This, to the best of my knowledge, is the last figure in the series. 2 of the Popy World Heroes were reissued by Bandai later on in the same boxes but with different packaging, and that would be Ultraman and Ultra 7. These are pretty commonly found. In addition to the figure line, there were 3 carry cases that are highly imitative of the Darth Vader carry case that Kenner made. All 3 of the original licenses were depicted as carry cases. The most commonly found one is the Ultraman. That must have been the most popular. The second one would be Skywriter, which is actually pretty tough to find, to be perfectly honest with you. And the third was Denjiman, and each of these holds the characters from the series. There's also rumors of a Sun Vulcan vehicle out there, but I've never been able to ascertain if it got made or not. One of the nicest things about collecting these is I made some friends along the way, and these guys were just interested in sharing and trading, and we had a lot of fun buying lots and taking the figures we needed, and I really enjoyed that entire journey of these. I wish there were more. Unfortunately, this is it. It's a pretty finite line. The other beautiful aspect of Popy World Heroes is, if you're patient, you can get almost every figure for about $20 to $25 in the box. It takes a little doing. They pop up on eBay here a little more expensive. I used some Japanese auction sites through a proxy, and I had no real trouble putting a set together for a decent price in about a year and a half. It was really fun to do. I would highly recommend collecting the Popy World Heroes. So that is my Popy World Hero review. I hope you've enjoyed it. If you want to chat Japanese toys with me, you can hit me up either here in the comments or in our Facebook group, Pod Stallions. That's just a catch-all for all of my obsessions: movies, TV, our podcast, and of course toys. I'd love to have you there. And if you are new to this, I do hope you'll consider hitting like and subscribe. I do this every week. Until next time, stay safe, stay positive, have fun.